Hello everyone, I, Professor Bhavik Kumar M. Kataria, welcomes you into the video series of Information and Network Security. We are discussing unit number 7, Digital Signature. In terms of this unit, we have discussed some of the points like properties, requirements and security regarding to the digital signature schemes, and we are continue with this topic. So let's see what we have discussed till today. First, we have started with the need of the digital signature. So in that case, we have discussed that whenever any sender is sending any data towards the receiver, so sender is going to send the data with the signature. So what are the benefits of sending the data with the signature? So let's see, we are getting authentication, non-repudiation and message integrity by use of signature. That is what we are getting by the use of signature. Now, one limitation was about the confidentiality. So we got it by using the various things like that is the first thing of generic model of digital signature. In that case, we are getting authentication and non-repudiation. So we are using the digital signature algorithm for message, and the same thing at a receiver side, we are using the digital signature verification algorithm. Another thing we have discussed case 2 for the message integrity and confidentiality. So in this second case, we got the message integrity by the use of digital signature standard DSS. We get the confidentiality. Get it? By using a cryptographic hash function and encryption on cryptographic hash function. Another thing, we have discussed two approaches. One approach was the DSS, and another approach is a RSA approach. So basically, both the case number 1 and case number 2 we have discussed, and we received the functionalities of digital signature. In our last session, we are discussing the digital signature schemes. On that case, we have discussed the Elgamal scheme. So as we have discussed how Elgamal scheme is working. So whenever sender is sending the data to receiver, so sender is using the Elgamal scheme to sign the message. Correct. And during this scheme, we are using some of the things like use of M, use of K, use of Q. Q is a prime number. We have used the various keys like S1, S2. We have found the inverse of K also. Get it? So two signatures S1 and S2 we have used for the signing purpose as a sending side. And same thing, we will use the V1 and V2 for the verification purpose. Suppose receiver is getting V1 is equal to V2, then message is arrived into the actual form. That is verification process. So that is all about we have discussed regarding to the Elgamal scheme. Now, before starting the today's session, let's see, we have discussed unit number 5 and unit number 6 also. So in case of unit number 5, we have discussed cryptographic hash function, applications of cryptographic hash function, simple hash function, requirements of simple hash function based on cipher block, and secure hash algorithm SHA. So these are the number of topics we have discussed during the unit number 5. Then after we discuss unit number 6 regarding to the message authentication port. In that case, we have discussed MSC requirements, MSC security, MSC is based on hash function, and MSC is based on block ciphers. So these are the various topics we have discussed during the unit number 6. So let's start today's session on Schnorr scheme. Get it? That is the one of the digital signature scheme. And totally there are 3 schemes. As per our discussion, we have discussed Elgamal scheme our last section. So if you are still remain to watch the video of Elgamal scheme, so you can click on I button at top right corner and you can watch the video of Elgamal scheme. Get it? Another thing, today we are going to discuss Schnorr scheme, as well as there is one more technique, that is NIST scheme or NIST algorithm. So Elgamal scheme and NIST scheme both are nearly same. Whatever the equations we are using Elgamal scheme, when we are following the minus sign, in place of NIST we are using the plus sign. So there is no more difference in between the equation of Elgamal scheme and NIST scheme. So we have already discussed the Elgamal scheme. Same thing, you have to generate the equations and keys for the equation for the algorithm of NIST. So we are not going to revise entire concept of Elgamal scheme once again. Just you have to look about the whatever the variations are available into the equation of Elgamal scheme and NIST algorithm. So definitely you will be able to understand the NIST algorithm. So let's see why we are learning the Schnorr scheme. So first we are starting with the need of Schnorr scheme. So if we will look about the limitation of Elgamal scheme, so what was the limitation of Elgamal scheme? That is, we have to use the very large prime number. Whatever the prime number we have choose at that time, so we have choose the there is need to use the very large size of prime number. According to the, whenever we have discussed the example, at that time we have taken the smaller prime number, but whenever it is in actual implementation Elgamal scheme, so at that time there is need to choose a very large size of prime number. So that is the one main limitation of Elgamal scheme. And now one more thing, why Schnorr scheme is not in fashion before the few years. So like that, if we will look about the Elgamal scheme, so probably Elgamal scheme was arrived probably into the 1985. And then after there is a arrival of Schnorr scheme. In probably 1991, and then after there is a arrival of NIST probably in 1997. But at that time Schnorr scheme was the pattern. Get it? So this pattern was into the Schnorr scheme up to the 2008 probably. So up to the 2008 people were not used Schnorr scheme in most of the cases because actually it was a pattern. Get it? So after 2008 people started using the Schnorr scheme, and then after Schnorr becomes a popular because it is as we have discussed, like it is overcome the limitation of Elgamal scheme. And same thing as we have discussed, Elgamal and NIST are more similar. Get it? Now what we are using into the Schnorr scheme, so look like we have choose the prime number in Elgamal scheme. So right now in case of Schnorr scheme, whenever we are going to choose the prime number, so we will choose a prime number with the 1024 bits, 1024. Get it? and whenever we will choose the prime number of 1024 bits, so probably we will get the signature of 2048 bits. So it is the double as compared to the chosen prime bits. Suppose we are choosing 1024 bits of prime number, so we are able to generate the signature of 2048 bits. Now, what is the proposal here? So, Schnorr is proposing the new scheme based on Elgamal. It is actually into the based of Elgamal, but what is the variation as compared to Elgamal? So, there was a very large prime number in terms of Elgamal, whereas in terms of Schnorr algorithm, there is a smaller size prime number. So, that is the key difference between Schnorr and Elgamal. Now, whenever we will choose the smaller prime number, so directly we will able to minimize the generation of minimize the computation of signature generation. Whenever we will generate the signatures, so suppose the prime number was very large, so there is need to do the more calculation and computation. So whenever we will implement it at a real time, so it will take more amount of time for the computations and calculations whenever prime number is a very large. But whenever we will choose the smaller prime number, so there is it will take a less amount of time for the calculations and computations. Now, if we look about the properties of Schnorr scheme, so first there is a prime number p and prime number q. We are going to choose the two prime numbers. First there is a p and second one it is a q. Also we will use the two public keys E1 and E2. Get it? These are the two public keys. One is E1 and another is E2. And one private key, that is the D. So that thing we will use into this Schnorr scheme. What we have use two prime numbers P and Q, one private key and two public key. Let's see in detail into the working of Schnorr scheme. So first we will select the prime number P with the 1024 bits. It means what is the meaning of the length of 1024 bits? So whenever we will choose the length of 1024 bits, so nearly we will choose the prime number about the 2 power of 1024. Get it? Length of 1024 bit means it is 2 power of 1024 bits. Get it? So whenever we will calculate this value 2 power of 1024, so we will get the value of p. So we will easily select the or we will easily guess the value of p. Now we are going to select the another prime number here, that is q. So what is the condition to select the q? So we have to choose the value of q like q divides p minus 1. That is the condition for selecting the q. Suppose we are choosing the p with the 2 power of 1024, so we can choose the q of 2 power of 160. 2 power of 160. Why? Because we have to choose the value of q as like q divides p minus 1. So that's why the value of p is 2 power of 1024 and value of q is 2 power of 160. So these are the selection of prime numbers p and q. Now what else? So first we will choose the public key E1. So how we will select the public key E1? So there is an equation E1 is equal to E0 power of p minus 1 divided by q modulo by p. That is the equation for the public key E1. Now thing is that how we will find or use the value of E0. So we will select the E0 as E0 is a primitive value of p. Whatever the value we choose for the p, So whenever we are going to select the value of T naught, so we have to take the value of T naught is equal to primitive value of P. So value of T naught is depend on value of P. Now already we have the value of two prime numbers P and Q. So we will take the power of P minus 1 divided by Q with the E0, and whatever we will get, we will do the modulo of P. Get it? So like this, we will select the first public key E1. Now we will choose the private key D. So we can choose the any value of private key. Now we will use the value of private key for the generation of second public key E2. Whenever we will calculate the value of E2, so there is an equation of generating the second public key is E1 power of D modulo P. So here there is a use of this private key into the equation of second public key. Get it? Value of E1 we have already calculated with the equation of E naught power of P minus 1 divided by Q modulo by P. And now we choose the value of private key as well as we have calculated the value of E1. So we can solve this equation E1 power of D modulo by P. We have already chosen the value of P is equal to 2⁻²1024. So definitely we will get the value of E2, and that is our second public key. So here there is a one private key and two public key for the making the signature according to this Schnorr scheme. Now let's see the working diagram of Schnorr scheme. So first here there is a Bhavik is a sender and Dhruvi is a receiver. So Bhavik will sign the signature and Dhruvi will verify the signature. So let's see, that is our message M. M is denoted for the message. Another thing, there is two signatures S1 and S2. We will use S1 and S2 for the signatures. V for the verification, R for the random secret. Random secret is an integer number. We will choose the integer number for the value of R. Another thing, there is a private key we have already discussed. We will denote private key with the D. Another two public key we have already discussed, E1 and E2. Also we are using the prime numbers as a public key. Value of P and Q are the value of prime numbers. So it is our public key E1, E2, P and Q. Value of E1 and E2 we have calculated by the equation. Value of P we have chosen as a very like a prime number like 2⁻²1024, and value of Q we have taken 2⁻160. That is the vertical bar for a pipe which we will use for the concatenation here into the equation. Another thing, we will use the one hash function for a hash algorithm. Let's see now entire Schnorr scheme is working. Let's see, that is actual message M, and first for putting the signature we will use S1 and S2. So equation for the signature S1, that is M concatenate E1 power of R modulo P. That is the equation of S1. This equation for the S1. By solving these equations, we are putting the hash algorithm or a hash function on signature S1. Another equations we are using for the second key second signature S2. Equation of S2 is equal to R plus D S1 modulo Q. Now, in these equations, whatever we are using the new parameters, that is R. R is a random secret, and we will choose the value of R in integer. So whatever the value we will choose for the R, we will choose the integer value. M is our original message. E1 we have already discussed in our last slide how to calculate the value of E1 as a public key. E we have choose as a prime number. Another thing, R we have taken as a random secret plus D into S1. D is our private key we are going to choose. S1 is our value of our first signature. S1 we are using for the calculating the S2 and modulo by Q. Q is another prime number we have derived by the value of P. So these are the two signatures S1 and S2 as well as that is our original message M. So that is the entire process in sending side. This entire process is into the sender side, sending side. So this thing is known as a signing the signature. Whatever the process are going to be executed at a sending side, this thing is known as a signature signing or a signature generation. Now here let's see what's happened into the receiver side. So that is the entire process which is going to be occur at a receiver side. So first there is a value of signature 1. So verifier will compare the value of V with the S1. So thing is that how to derive the value of V. So again there is a equation for deriving the value of V, that is M concatenate E1 power of S1 into E2 power of minus S2 modulo by P. Get it? So there is need to calculate minus S2. Get it? So we have already calculated the value of S2. So here we will use the negative value of signature, second signature. So whenever we will calculate the answer of this equation, M concatenate E1 power of S1 into E2 power of minus S2 modulo by P, we will apply the same hash function which was applied at a sending side. So we will get the value of V, and verifier will compare the value of signature S1 and V. Suppose these values are arriving same, so that original message, that is our original message, which is going to be accepted by the verifier or a receiver. Get it? So that is the entire process which is going to be occur at receiver's end. So let's see with the one example. So we are taking the value of P is equal to 2267 as a prime number, and we will choose the value of Q as a 103. So how we will decide this 103? 103 means Q divides P minus 1. It means Q divides 2266. Q divides 2266. It means 103 divides 2266. That's why we are going to choose the value of Q is equal to 103. Now for the second step, we will find the value of E1 and E2. So we are getting the value of E1 is equal to 354. So why we are getting 354? Because the equation of E1 is equal to E naught power of P minus 1 divided by Q modulo P. E naught. So we have to choose the value of E naught is a primitive value of P. So here we are choosing the value of E naught is equal to 2. Get it? So 2 is a primitive value of 2267. Now we will put this value into the equation 2 power of 2266. 2266 is a P minus 1. P is a 2267 minus 1. So we will get 2266 divided by Q. Value of Q is equal to 103 and modulo by 2267. So whenever we will make 2266 divided by 103, so we will get answer 22. So 2 raised to 2 power of 22 modulo by 2267. So finally we will get the value of E1 is equal to 354. So that is the calculations how we are getting the answer of E1 is equal to 354. Another thing, we have to choose the private key D. So here we are choosing the value of D is equal to 30. That is our private key, and E1, E2 are our public key. So here I am writing D is a private key, and E1 and E2 these are the public key. So let's see how we are getting the value of E2 is equal to 1206, 1206, because equation of E2 is equal to E1 power of D modulo by T. So it means E2 is equal to 354 power of 30, 354 raised to 30. 354 is a value of E1, which we got here by solving this equation. 30 is a value of private key. D is equal to 30. We choose this value randomly, and we will make 354 raised to 30 modulo by 2267. Value of P is equal to 2267, and finally we will get the value of E2 is equal to 1206. Get it? So whatever the calculations, here I am instructing that you have to calculate by the scientific calculator. So you can easily calculate this entire calculation within a short amount of time. If you will try it without use of scientific calculator, so it will take the longer amount of time. Now another thing, we have to choose the value of R. Get it? So R is equal to 11. We will choose the integer value for the R always. So these are the three steps. First, we have to choose the value of P and Q as a prime number. Calculation of public key E1 and E2, choosing of private key, and choosing the value of R. Now we are going to sign the signature. So how we will sign the signature? So first, here we are going to take our actual message. Suppose our message is 1000. We are taking the value 1000 as our original message. First, we will calculate the value of S1. So how we will calculate the value of S1? So for calculating the S1, there is a equation H of M concatenate E1 raised to R modulo by P. So M is our actual value. Here I have taken the value of M is equal to 1000. You can choose your message, whatever message your original message is there. So you have to take the actual value of your message. What message you want to send to your friend or your colleague. Now here value of M is equal to 1000. Concatenate E1 raised to R. It means value of E1. Here we know value of E1, that is 354 raised to R. R is a here there is a secret integer. Value of R is equal to 11, and modulo by P. P we have choose 2267. So finally, whenever we will solve this entire equation, 354 raised to 11 modulo 2 module by 2267. So we will get 630. So we will concatenate this 630 with the value 1000, and we will put the hash function on this value H of 1000 concatenate 630. Suppose we are getting answer is 200. That is, I am assuming around an answer. I am not going to calculate accurately. So suppose we can assume there is 200 is a value from the hash function. Another thing, we will calculate S2. Get it? So for choosing the value of S2, we will use the equation R plus D into S1 modulo by Q. Value of R is equal to 11 from here. D is equal to our private key. Value of private key is equal to 30 into S1. Value of S1 we have already calculated. Suppose we are getting 200. So here I have taken the value of S1 is equal to 200 modulo by Q. Q we have already taken earlier 103. So finally we will get the answer 35. So here we are getting the answer of S1 is equal to 200 and S2 is equal to 35. So it is our signature 1 and signature 2. So look like in Elgamal scheme, at the time into the Elgamal algorithm we have used two values S1 and S2 for the signature. Again here we are using the two values S1 and S2 as a signature. Now by putting this signature S1 and S2 onto the message, message will be transmitted towards the destination. So now what is the procedure at a destination side or a receiver side? So receiver will verify the signature with the value of V. So to calculate the value of V, here there is a equation H of M concatenate E1 raised to S2 into E1 raised to minus S1 modulo by P. So value of M, our actual original message, here we have taken 1000 concatenate E1 means value of E1 is equal to 354 raised to S2. S2 we get here 35 into multiply by 1206. 1206 is a value of E2 into minus S1. So we have to find out the we have to get the minus value of S1. Value of S1 is equal to 200. So here we will choose the minus 200 modulo by P. P is equal to 2267. So whenever we will calculate and whatever the answer we will get by computing this equation. So we will compare this answer with the S1. Suppose V and S1 both are the same. So there is no integrity added in our message and message will be authenticated by the verifier. So that is the fundamental regarding to the Schnorr scheme what we have discussed here. If you have any doubts or any query regarding to the Schnorr scheme, you can make your queries or doubts. You can make me into the comment box. So I will try my best to solve out your queries. In our next session, we will start unit number 8, and in that unit we will discuss key management and distribution. We will discuss the symmetric key distribution, as well as we will discuss the distribution of public key, X.509 certificates, 10.509 certificates, and public key infrastructure. So these are the topics we will discuss in our next unit. So till this moment, stay connected. Thank you very much.